The Fanfiction Power Hour is a comedy podcast between friends that does not attempt straightforward readings. The links to the fanfictions are in the description if you would prefer an unaltered experience and to support the authors by giving the stories a like. Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to Jen and Wizzy's Fanfiction Power Hour. I'm your host, Jen Reaper, and with me here today, as always, is my co-host, Wizzy Puff. Say hello, Wizzy.
Hello, Wizzy.
No, you're Wizzy. You're supposed to say hello to the audience.
Oh. Hello, audience.
Silly dumb motherfucker. You dumb idiot. Dummy.
You created me. You can't say that. I'm your AI.
I created you to be as stupid as possible, so of course I can say it. That's part of the joke.
You're abusive to me, mother.
Yeah. Anyways, welcome back, everybody. Today, we're going to be reading yet another story by one of our favorite authors, Rune Soldier Dan.
Rune Soldier Dan?
That's right. Rune Soldier Dan.
From stories?
How many Rune Soldier Dan stories have we read?
Oh my god, it must have been like... This must be the fourth. I'm going to say the fourth. If I'm wrong, strike me with lightning where I sit.
Hey, Tom, can you add a lightning sound effect? Because I know for a fact that that's wrong.
Aw, man.
There was, obviously, I Daybreaker, then To Try for the Sun, and then there was Dungeon Master Applejack. And then...
Okay.
Green Flag Go.
Oh, you're right.
And then also Santa.
I completely forgot that we did Green Flag Go. And Santa was by Rune Soldier Dan?
Yep.
Dang.
So yeah, this one will be number 6.
All right, fanfiction gods, strike me where I sit.
Ah, the fanfiction gods. They are not merciful.
Well, that lightning could have been worse.
It could have been. But I'm glad you're still around. Personally.
Thank you.
So that we can read The First of Many Evenings by Rune Soldier Dan. This one has a particular character that we have not really bumped into all that often. That's right. We are going to be reading a Principal Celestia fic. Very excited for that. I don't know if we've ever actually read a Principal Celestia fic before.
Yeah, we kind of were going to, but then the sequel to Continue wasn't actually taking place in Equestria Girls like the ending of the first one would make you think it did.
Yeah, maybe that one's on us. Maybe we just had too high of expectations.
Yeah.
I can't even remember one where she showed up. I think she showed up in the Three Sirens.
Well, I mean, she definitely showed up in Continue, but other than that...
Oh, yeah, I guess that counts. But yeah, other than that, I don't know if we've ever had any Principal Celestia fics.
Oh, well, actually, the last episode had Principal Celestia, but only over text.
Did it?
Yeah, don't you remember?
Oh.
Oh, my bad. Not the last episode. The Wallflower Blush episode. I got them confused in my mind because they both had Sunset.
Of course. Naturally. It's not like you're freaking editing that one right now.
Shut up, okay?
All right, well, interesting. There are probably a lot more Principal Celestia fics that, or at least fics that she's shown up in, but I can't think of any. So that is that. I suppose we should begin The First of Many Evenings by Rune Soldier Dan. Chapter: The First of Many Evenings.
Thank you, Nagatha.
The words came out as a hard sigh, like Celestia had been holding her breath. In a way, she had. The toil of a principal was never easy, but these last few months were the hardest of her career. Obnoxious parents and fights with the board had escalated to a point where the mayor and media were involved. It wasn't the worst time to be put under a microscope. That would be the magical disasters of last year. But now caught up in the myriad of controversies was the escalating prank war, with Crystal Prep requiring its own meetings, reports, and negotiations, which had, for once, not taken her own time to fix. Not a problem, Miss Celestia. Nagatha Harshwinny's low voice came from her seat across from Celestia's desk. Okay, so, you're probably wondering, who the heck is Miss Harshwinny? Or Nagatha Harshwinny here. And I can't remember if that's her actual name. I think it is. Sounds about right.
Yeah, Nagatha? I was actually surprised to see that. That looks more like a mean nickname that Celestia would have picked for her.
Keep in mind, this is still, well, this is Equestria Girls, but it's still Equestria Girls, so the naming convention is evil. Miss Harshwinny in the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic show, she was the one who decided where the Equestria Games were going to be held.
Okay. That's how I remember you talking about her, was just in relation to the Equestria Games.
Okay, she is the real Equestria Games inspector. Yeah, so she appears in 2 episodes, which is Games Ponies Play and Flight to the Finish. One is a crappy episode, and the other is a God tier episode. One of the best episodes of the show.
Dang.
But she's barely in either of them.
Why is it a crappy episode?
Games Ponies Play is just boring, but Flight to the Finish is the best Scootaloo episode of all time.
Yo?
Well, to most people in the fandom.
Not to you.
Personally, my favorite Scootaloo episodes are Sleepless in Ponyville and The Washouts, which are like my 2 favorite episodes of the show.
Is the first one they mentioned one to do with Nightmare Moon, or am I just...
It has something to do with Luna.
Why do I always call her Nightmare Moon when I think of Luna?
I don't know.
Something wrong with me.
Yeah.
I just assume because, nighttime, Luna.
I guess. Oh yeah, and apparently she is in the Equestria Girls comics, supposedly. I just saw that on the Wikipedia page. I don't know if she actually has anything significant in there.
Good for her.
Yeah. That's just kind of a general rundown of Miss Harshwinny. Personally, if I were to ship her with anybody, this is a really weird one. If I were to ship her with anybody, it would be with Rainbow Dash. Although not in Equestria Girls, because that would be weird.
You think she's the one who could actually keep Rainbow Dash, from going too wild?
I think Rainbow Dash would be the one to get her to loosen up a bit.
Oh, dang. She'd be the one to get the stick out of her butt, huh?
Yep. I'm trying to think. Never mind. I was gonna make a sex joke, but...
Oh my God, of course you would. You think just oh yeah, mentioning stick up butt means sex? Where does that even come from?
Well, Wizzy, I have had more sexual experience than you, supposedly.
Yeah, because the butt is used for sex. I don't think so. God only made that hole for one thing.
I thought you were agnostic.
Yeah?
Aren't I the Christian?
And I'm doing Pascal's wager, okay? I do think it's worth mentioning, though, that Rune Soldier Dan's profile picture is Miss Harshwinny in pony form.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I guess he likes her.
As everyone should.
Sure. All right, we're going to continue now. Not a problem, Miss Celestia. Nagatha Harshwini's low voice came from her seat across from Celestia's desk. The perpetrators on both sides were identified, and I coordinated the punishments with Principal Cadence to ensure they were fair for all. Hopefully that is the end of it. Ah, I see that Cadence is now a principal in the Equestria Girls universe.
Let's go.
I don't know if that ever actually happened. She was a dean previously.
She deserves it. I feel like a principal should lead with love.
You know what? You're right.
Yes! Score one for Wizzy. Cinch used to just blame everything on us.
Celestia gave a wan smile, mindfully remembering it wasn't all bad these days. You always dealt with her yourself, Harshwini noted.
I could handle her.
You let her walk all over you. A touch of disapproval entered the voice, but Celestia's smile grew.
What good would a fight have done? Her school was darling of the whole city, while we single-handedly drove up the district's insurance costs. She could have made our lives hell if we got on her petty side.
Harshwini closed her eyes, sipping perfectly at her tea. Perhaps some constructive criticism would have saved her a fall. Celestia giggled, arching one eyebrow at her friend. Yes, they crossed that bridge a long time ago. 5 years in the trenches of public education could turn anyone into comrades, even personalities as different as they. The chummy principal and the harsh disciplinarian. But it went far beyond such archetypes. Celestia was expressive. Harshwini held her opinions close. Celestia's hair was a wavy mess. Harshwini's was short and combed. A yellow blazer bought in college, and a purple pantsuit which was replaced every year. Harshwini finished her sip. Was that amusing, Miss Celestia?
A bit.
Celestia admitted. Harshwini used to intimidate her, but those days were over.
You really think Cinch would have listened to any criticism?
No, but people surprise you sometimes. That's why you should always be honest. Celestia could have noted Harshwini's ruthless honesty sent on average 2 students per year crying to her office, with all sound lessons lost, which might have been saved by a little sugarcoating. But this was an old debate of theirs, and Celestia had the sense to know any right answer laid somewhere in between. Harshwini lowered her cup. The ice blue eyes now turned firmly on Celestia and the present. Any reporters this week?
Just 2. One played by the rules. The other we caught by the club rooms after school chasing down the rain booms. I'm having words with his employers, but somehow they think unsupervised, unauthorized adults pursuing and engaging with students isn't all that serious.
One more thing you're taking on, Harshwini said. Let me handle that.
I'm the principal, Nagatha. I can't delegate this to a teacher.
One of you lowly teachers.
I made it sound harsher than it should have, didn't I?
Fine. I can start representing us at the board meetings.
Given how tense those have been, they'd see it as an insult.
What about organizing the school festival?
No,
Celestia breathed out another sigh, leaning into her chair with a satisfying stretch of the back.
I want to do that. I want this job to be more than politics, discipline, and budgets. It's a school, for heaven's sake. Students should know they are the center of it, not be too unimportant for their own principal.
A small twist, which might possibly be a smile, came to Harshwinny's lips. Including the Dunk the Principal fundraiser?
Are you volunteering to tap in?
Celestia teased. No, Harshwinny said. I still can't believe that was your idea. But there must be something I can do for you. Celestia beamed at her.
You're already doing it.
And you're working weekends. Actually, Harshwinny paused and hesitated, blinking away from eye contact for the first time since Celestia could recall. Her face, sharp features, possessing the odd combination of blue eyes and tan skin, seemed to grimace as though uncomfortable, before settling in the next second to her habitual frown. You need an evening off, Harshwinny announced primly. Her eyes darted over Celestia. Your jacket is even more wrinkled than normal. Your eyes are bagged, your desk is a disaster. Celestia gave a guilty glance down at her disordered workstation as Harshwinny went on. Come over to my house this weekend. There is a nice park on my street I can show you, and after dinner we can play cards or watch a movie. An evening away from it all will do you good.
Yo, this flirting is actually really kind of cute.
Yeah. Two old people.
Yeah. Two people who are like a couple years from kicking the bucket.
Yep. Man. It's nice to know that even old people can find love at the end of their lives.
So, Celestia, Principal Celestia, is gonna die, right? That's like almost certain.
Yeah, probably.
Man.
Like, in a couple months, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. She's like really old, but regular Princess Celestia has the bonus of immortality, so she doesn't have to face that death that's only in like a week or so.
Yeah. It's weird. Princess Celestia has lived for thousands of years already, and Principal Celestia is about to die in like, what, 3 hours?
Right? Oh my god. Poor Principal Celestia. Minutes from death.
Oh, just counting down those seconds. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Celestia didn't fully remember saying yes. Nothing like this had ever happened in the last 5 years, and for Harshwinny to suggest it so suddenly left her gobsmacked. They were friends, yes, but not ever outside of work. 5 years of cookouts and baby showers among the staff, and Harshwinny never came to a single one. Certainly not for a more intimate visit either. Ooh.
Ooh.
Just for you, Celestia. It felt like a leap of faith. Celestia had no idea how Nagatha lived, what kind of hobbies she had outside of school. That night, Celestia had a half-remembered dream of arriving to a high-rise apartment filled with action figures. Just a dream, of course. The address brought her to a small but tidy house in rural suburbia, old enough for a working fireplace and to neatly rear-end into a state park. No basement and a crawl space for an attic forced an efficiency Celestia supposed she expected anyway. Small kitchen dining combo, tidy living room by the fire, bedroom. The one spare room was given over to a lone bit of ostentation in the form of a library, with mahogany shelves reaching up to the ceiling and a comfortable chair and lamp for reading.
This is lovely,
Celestia said, lying through her teeth. I'm kidding, it doesn't say that. Celestia said. Harshwinny mumbled something, already retreating down the hall. Celestia herself made it a point to read the classics. While her own library existed in a tablet, the words were the same, and mercifully gave them something to talk about besides work. They compared experiences with Tennyson, Shara, and Doyle as Harshwinny showed her around the little park. It was the first time Celestia had seen her in casual clothes, or at least what passed for casual from Miss Harshwinny. Matching purple nylon jacket and pants spoke easily of a habit for cool weather exercise.
Do you like jogging?
Celestia asked. She did, too. Another connection. They compared routes, distances, favorite places to go.
This sounds like kind of like one of those romance dating simulator games where you're just like, oh, you have to pay attention to what's happening, and then you pick the multiple choice answer that is most accurate to what's going on. Like, she just noticed that she's wearing jogging uniform, and she's like, do you like jogging? Ding, ding, ding. That's the right answer for the date. Romance meter, go up.
You're right. But instead of a cute anime protagonist or love interest, it's two walking corpses.
Two people who are 1 foot in the grave.
Practically entirely in the grave.
Pretty sure there's actually dating simulators like that, where it's like a senior citizen house.
Probably. I haven't seen them, though, so they probably don't exist to me.
Yep, not to someone so young, someone so spry.
Oh, I'm 25. I'm already old.
You already have 1 spider leg in the grave out of 8.
Harshwinny changed quickly on their return to the house. A bit odd to Celestia, but the woman had her habits. Jogging gear was traded for pressed purple pants, though at least she left off the suit for a white turtleneck and pink shawl around her neck and shoulders. Dinner proved tasty, although impossible for Celestia to pronounce. An Indian dish of rice, chicken, and vegetables, with lemons and spice for flavor.
You're a principal! You should know how to pronounce this! I'm sorry. I'm taking my anchor out on Celestia.
Please, if you ever get angry at me, do take it out on Celestia. Principal Celestia, specifically.
Yeah, that's the one person who deserves it more than anyone.
Not terribly filling, but then Harshwinny produced a small, fresh cake with 2 glasses of wine. They settled down on her nice couch before the fire, munching and chatting lazily until things fell to silence. All right, how much we want to bet? They kissing at the end of this?
Oh, they better be.
They swap and spit?
They better be.
Gosh, I hope so.
If they aren't exchanging DNA, then this is a failure of a romance fic.
Yeah, we haven't had a lot of kisses on this podcast.
Yeah, huh.
There are a few, for sure, but most of the romance fics we've had don't at all.
Mm-hmm. And one of them was Jigsaw, non-consensually kissing Twilight.
Yeah. And then also Jigsaw consensually kissing someone who looked like Twilight. Ish. Spoilers for the Celestia Code.
Without Twilight's consent, but with the consent of the person that she was kissing.
Yeah. It's complicated, you know? We do get into that in the Celestia Code episodes. But in case you're all wondering,
wonderful series.
I don't know if we ever come to a conclusion on that, other than that it's complicated. But it probably shouldn't.
And kind of wrong.
Yeah.
At least kinda. But
Little
hopefully there's some consensual kissing in this fic.
Fingers crossed. I want these two to look directly into each other's eyes and just smooch. Exactly like that. It should have been comfortable. An idyllic day away from the hustle and bustle, exploring nature before coming home to hot food and a fire. Certainly the best day Celestia had in a while. This was normal and fine, to let the evening drift to a close before returning to her car. But Harshwinny did not look fine. She stared into the fire, frowning more deeply than her norm. That must be a deep frown.
Man, must be a bigger frown than a rainbow.
Aww.
Sorry for making rainbows sound sad, everyone.
Celestia was a lightweight drunk. The wine flushed hot beneath her skin, giving a giddiness only reluctantly sobered by the low mood of her host. She peered nakedly at Harshwinny, at first seeing not the slightest reason for it. A good day, pleasant company. They got along even better than Celestia expected, so why? Kindly to a fault and made a bit impulsive by the wine, Celestia reached to the space in between them and found Harshwinny's hand where it rested on the couch. Long pink fingers met firm tan ones with nub nails and wrapped around them. Harshwinny looked over to her, the cold blue eyes wide and a raspberry blush beneath the sharp cheeks. She turned away quickly and pulled back the hand. Ah!
Man, is this going to be a slow burn?
God. Prepare for a 50-hour episode, everybody. I'm sorry, Harshwinny said tightly. Her eyes rose to the ceiling and her shoulders pulled in a quiet sigh. This was a mistake.
I had a wonderful time.
Celestia tried. I'm glad. Harshwinny fidgeted, her stony discipline not quite yet returned. I know we don't see eye to eye on everything, but you always give it your all. You always have, fighting tooth and nail with foolish adults who should know better, yet never letting yourself be defined by the fighting. You never let yourself be ground into an indifferent bureaucrat who trots herself out for school functions and spends the day locked behind a secretary. She licked her lips for the first time Celestia had ever seen. You care, Miss Celestia. I remember how you covered for Sunset's magic mishaps. Who knows where she'd be right now if the government got a hold of her? There isn't a thing you wouldn't do for your students. I don't know if others see what I see or if I'm the only one, but I find you singularly impressive. You are inspiring. I want to help you help them, but also help you for you. A meal, a walk. It is easy to forget sometimes that rest is a vital part of productivity. That's true.
Can't be overstated. Man, this one's actually making me really kind of ship this.
Hot
This is
and
getting
bothered.
really like, yeah, right? Like, not to mince words, but this is becoming erotic.
And I'm going to pull my pants down now.
Oh. Yeah, now is when I'm gonna do it. Not at the beginning. Not as soon as I read the romance tag.
Sorry, we just didn't establish it, so I just thought I might as well make a joke out of it.
God. Then what makes this a mistake?
Celestia asked. Harshwinny looked again to her, almost a pained expression, with eyebrows raised in fear or worry before turning back towards the fire. Celestia scooched a little closer. She reached over and set her hand atop Harshwinny's. Again, Harshwinny drew back. The bitch.
Stop doing that.
Again, Harshwinny drew back. I suppose I got ahead of myself, Harshwinny said, a wooden replica of her stern norm. You are so wonderful. Celestia laughed out loud, tasting the wine on her breath.
So are you. You're my rock, Nags. Some days I feel like you and Luna do more principal work than I do.
Because you are continuously obligated to handle duties which should not be expected of a principal.
Okay, so we're all great.
Celestia scooched in again, bringing their hips together.
Then what's the problem?
Harshwini shrugged down, hiding her mouth in the shawl. Must I say it out loud?
I'm drunk, not an idiot. Was this a date? She was like eating a bunch of raisins and she was like, is this a date? I don't know why I said that. That was a really bad joke.
Terrible.
That was like a really bad joke.
Well, gonna have to keep that in.
You can put this at the end.
I don't know, there are pretty good contenders for the ending bit.
That's a good point.
The blue eyes flashed, their mouth still hidden in pink. You've had one glass. No, of course not. Earlier I thought it might turn into a date. No longer. Celestia could accept that. She could leave. Come Monday, all would be normal. Tonight was the outlier, certainly. Yesterday, she didn't have the slightest inkling Nagatha felt this way about her. Or, well, anything at all. Nagatha was her rock, but that wasn't always a compliment. Come on, it was Harshwini. Lovely blue eyes, chiseled feminine face, a fair bit shorter than Celestia, but she'd busted more than one student eyeing Nagatha's. Well, Nags kept herself in shape.
Oh?
Celestia couldn't say she ever thought to look at her friend like this, but now that she had, why not? She said that part out loud. Harshwini sunk deeper into her shawl. Because you're beautiful and I'm too old for you. Celestia gave a tipsy hiccup and placed her socked foot atop Harshwini's.
How old do you think I am?
She heard a deep breath from within the pink. 27?
Try 37, Nags.
Okay, so probably been dead for a good long while now.
Man, that's like the same age as Cleopatra, right?
From back then to today, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how old am I? Celestia slowly rubbed her foot up Harshwini's ankle.
27.
A huff emerged. I'm 40, you jackass. Oh, that doesn't say that. I'm 40, you jokester. Celestia made a show of thinking about it, relishing the blush creeping out above the shawl.
Well, we've established that we're both awesome. And you're not actually much older than me.
You act so young, Harshwini mumbled.
Again, why not?
You're beautiful. A sigh came from the pink barrier. Just finding different things to call it. No, you're radiant. Your smile, your hair, your whole aura of effortless love. One day you'll find someone worthy of you. She made to speak on, but froze as Celestia's soft fingers brushed along her face. They pulled down the shawl to cup the sharp chin. Celestia set her other hand on a shoulder and pushed, steering her friend into a lying position on the couch. Ooh.
Oh boy, we're gonna get more than a kiss here.
Well, they fucking. Wizzy, do I have to ground you?
I'm sorry, they're friggin'?
There you go. She moved her own legs to keep pace till she was kneeling over Harshwini, pressed into the back cushion to make room. Her pink eyes held the blue, so unlike how she had ever seen them. They trembled with hope and fear, bright diamonds in stoic rock. Celestia's fingers crept up to rest against a tan cheek. Nagatha pushed gently into the hand. Her lips tasted like wine and cake.
Found you,
Celestia whispered. She laid down, resting atop Nagatha's compact, stronger frame. She giggled, tipsily musing on the future.
Let's hit the beach this summer, Nags.
Don't call me Nags, came the stern reply. Like everything was back to normal. Well, a new normal.
Of course, Harshy Poo.
Nagatha stumbled on her words, clumsily hugging Celestia with hands that had never done anything like this. You're so good, and you put so much on yourself. I want to make your life better. I want to take care of you.
You need that too, it seems.
Celestia gently chided.
Let me take care of you. For tonight. What would you like to do?
Harshwinny went silent for a moment. The sun was gone, and Celestia blows up.
No!
The sun was gone, and all they had for light was the fading embers of the fireplace. I don't want to move too fast, Harshwinny said. Honestly, we can talk this all out later, but I would very much appreciate it if you were to spend the night and allow me to hold you. Oh, they fucking. Wizzy.
I mean, they're fudging.
Good. One more slip out of you, mister.
I'm sorry, please don't put me back in the garden shed. That's where the garden gnome lives.
He'll be very disappointed with you, Wizzy.
He always tries to teach me how to live a chaste life, and he's so weird about it.
And so they did. But before then, they had another glass of wine to quietly celebrate this first of many evenings to come. To come indeed.
Oh, yeah.
Author's note. Thank you for reading. The end. That was The First of Many Evenings by Rune Soldier Dan. Well, Wizzy, what did we think of it?
I think this was actually one of the best romance fics we've read in a while. Like, since Twilight's New Year's special with Sunset. I forget what that was called.
I think it's one of the only ones we've read since then. Oh, there was the It's a Date Rocker Boy.
Okay, true. But that one was like the best one that we had read in a while since the one before it.
I think before that, I don't know, I was going to say Green Flag Go. But no, the one before Twilight's New Year's resolution was not. It was the Light in the Solid.
Oh
no, wait, Peppermint Winter was before that, or was after that.
Peppermint Winter. Was that one really that good?
I mean, I thought it was sweet.
Oh yeah, this one. Dang it. Okay, maybe I'm just really bad at remembering some romance fics, because we had some really good ones that I'm just not remembering that well.
Yeah, you're bad at remembering that stuff.
I am bad at remembering. Let's just put it at that.
Yeah. I thought this one was very sweet.
Yeah.
I would definitely love to see more with these two, honestly. Now, how many woman-loving woman romance fics are there that's like with the two characters on the older side?
Yeah, definitely not enough. It's always going to be on the younger side for something like that, I fear, because it seems like women don't get a lot of representation as it is, and then lesbians even less, and older women even less than regular young women. I don't know why I said regular. That was messed up.
Wow. Gonna cancel you. But in this series particularly, you're obviously gonna have way more female representation just in general.
That's true.
So it is odd how it's still very rare to have more mature female pairings or lesbian pairings.
But you don't have many old man pairings in this. Like, how many old man pairings are you going to have in this? Like, Discord and Tirek? Discord and
Sure.
Star Swirl?
Sure. pretty sure I've seen both of those. There was Star Swirl and Sombra that one time.
Okay, that's true. Oh my god, that was so good too. Oh man, I am just not remembering any of the romance fics tonight. This one has wiped out my memory of any romance fic besides the first
Can
of
we
many
call
evenings.
that one romance? It's tough to say on that one. I guess romantic tragedy, maybe. They definitely were fucking, but they weren't anymore.
Didn't it have the romance tag, though?
It might have. If it did, then yeah. I guess it'll count.
It was definitely more like angst than romance, but it definitely had like a romantic aspect. But yeah, that actually is very funny that we have definite old guy romance pairings in this series where you definitely expect it to be more female oriented. So it just goes to show how biased the gender gap is.
Yeah.
Woke Wizzy, looking out.
Look out, Wizzy. But yeah, so aside from that aspect, these two are just cute together. I don't know.
Yeah. It totally reminded me of Pearl and Rose Quartz / whatever from Steven Universe. I'm not going to spoil anything.
Smooth. Yeah. I can see that, kind of. Although I think this one is less toxic.
Yeah, definitely. This one seems a little bit more even-sided. Even if it is like sub-dom relationship. What relationship isn't sub-dom?
Quite frankly, if you're not in a sub-dom relationship, I think you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Remember that, Dan.
Dan Schneider?
No, Rune Soldier Dan. Who might be Dan Schneider, we don't know.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Because Rune Soldier Dan, I don't know actually.
As you should never know. I want to keep you all nice and stupid. Now then, the art, by the way, very cute. By Kiose, however the heck you pronounce that. Very nice art. Good job.
It's Kiyoshi the POC. I have no idea who this person is. They might be a person of color.
They might be. Can't find any of that in their bio, though. So who's to say? This was the spiciest it's ever gotten for a fic, I think.
No.
Like, spiciest as in they were about to do it. And it wasn't in a comedic sense.
Okay, yeah, not in a comedic sense, then. That's definitely true.
It just had me like, woo, oh man, getting hot in here.
Yeah, this one really did feel like, man, spicy.
Mamma mia.
Caliente. Another language. I feel like this was actually the first fic that we've read that properly represented Harshwinnie, and she's pretty much what I wanted. I've mentioned her a disproportionate amount compared to like any other character that we haven't really read about, so it feels good to finally actually read a proper Harshwinnie fic.
I'm not sure if this properly represents her entirely.
Oh, really?
But also, we don't get that much of her in the show proper, and we really don't get that much of her in Equestria Girls, so who's to really say?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought that you got more of her in Equestria Girls because
no,
it kind of made it seem that way in this fic.
You just got the one panel, as far as I can tell, because again, I just looked at the wiki, and it only gives you a single panel from Equestria Girls, the comics. Apparently she appears in My Little Pony Friends Forever issue number 9 and issue number 33.
Oh.
I don't know if that's Equestria Girls or not.
Good for her. Now, is this speaking roles?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's that. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. Please go down into the description below and read the story for yourself, or just give it a like. Either way, Rune Soldier Dan, or as we like to call him here, Dan, because We're practically besties. Dan very much deserves it. And this fic was phenomenal. That's all we have to say. Good night, everybody.
Good night. And see ya.
The address brought her to a small but tidy house in rural suburbia. Rural.
I've heard German people try to pronounce rural. Pretty funny.
Right. Yeah, well, I do have German heritage.